Did you know that the government is us? It's like Toys R Us, you know? Toys R Us. Okay, the government's us. Oh, okay. Here he is again. Cut 3. Your president. Go.
We've got to have the brightest minds to help solve our biggest challenges. And it's a reminder that in this democracy, we, the people, recognize that this government belongs to us. And it's up to each of us and every one of us to make it work better.
Stop. I want you to remember those words. And I hope all of you and your friends and family and whoever you can gather around listen to this program on Wednesday. Well, I hope you listen every day. But Wednesday is when I begin talking about what I call the Liberty Project, which will need to involve each and every one of you, Tea Party, conservatives, citizens, however you label yourself. The government belongs to us, and it's up to each of us and every one of us to make it work better. Now, he doesn't mean what I mean by that. What he means by that is, I'm going to impose my will on you, and I insist that you comply. That's what he means. And if you don't voluntarily comply, well, I'll sick the IRS on you, or the EPA, or I'll somehow punish you. That's not what we mean. So let's go back to the beginning of this, Mr. Producer, and listen carefully to what he says, because this is very important, because he means something very different than the rest of us, and I mean, by God, this is exactly what we need to do. Go.
We've got to have the brightest minds to help solve our biggest challenges. And it's a reminder that in this democracy, we, the people, recognize that this government belongs to us. And it's up to each of us and every one of us to make it work better. We can't just stand on the sidelines. We can't take comfort in just being cynical. We all have a stake in government success because the government is us.
Stop. The government is not us. The government is not us. In fact, in so many ways, and in a growing number of ways, the government is anti-us. The government is a far distance from us. And the government doesn't represent us, which is why they push out midnight regulations by the ton, which is why they work in secret until they come up with these massive bills, which is why so many go to the courts to get decisions, so the courts impose their policy decisions on the rest of us. The government is not us. What would the framers of the Constitution say? Or the Founding Fathers? What would they say? The government is us? They'd say the government is a necessary evil. That the government exists to ensure that we can live as free as possible, and that our unalienable rights are preserved. The government's not us. The IRS isn't us. The EPA isn't us. And I can go on down the list. He's got it backwards. But then again, doesn't he always?